All right. Peace to anybody who might join in. We'll go ahead and start chit chatting because I don't know. My mother might end up calling. My wife might end up calling. So if I just disappear. But um, what's up, Dap? Um, the art of confusion is based on something that's been happening with me for some time now. I have these moments where I might either get depressed or I might feel oh, what's up? All right, are we back? Went through a little rough area there. What I was saying was I've had these periods where I go through either some form of like a bout of depression or and or confusion. And what always happens is something will get a hold of me during that period and I'll get on this. I'm always on a hunt, but I'll get on some type of different, I don't know what to call it. And then I have some type of epiphany, as minor as it may be. You know, it's an epiphany for me. So I was thinking about that the other day because I've been feeling like I just didn't feel compelled to do anything. Um, and I went and grabbed something. What's up, Marcus? I grabbed a book, one of my books that I want to read from. And the reason I call this the art of confusion is that world of metaphysics, we speak so much about knowing, knowing and knowing and knowing. And knowing the is the prize. But I think what maybe we have lost sight of, maybe because we've become a little arrogant in our espousal of our godhood or our divinity. And what I've learned and what I'm learning more and more is that every time I think I'm really cooking with grease, I still end up having this utter, profound confusion. You know? But it's always paid off handsomely. What I'm trying to get at is that everybody's looking for this ultimate state of knowing where this is the final showdown. You finally reach the end zone. You scored a touchdown. Whatever it is that is to come beyond this world, we don't know what it will be like. And we're not supposed to know because that's the ultimate expression of faith, is that, or really of occultism, is there's always an unknown. No matter how much we know, there is always an unknown. So we talk so much about knowing and knowledge and things of that nature. And I'm learning more and more that the ultimate knowledge to acquire is the knowledge of how much you don't know. Now, what am I saying by that? Think about how many people you know that you might bring up something in just a conversation. Because, when you think differently, you can't help but to show it, and just even just a mundane conversation, something, a little eke of consciousness might leak out. Have you noticed the rejection? Now, it's a stain. It's a stain to the ego. You trying to, when you feel that rejection, hell, we still human. Don't nobody like that to be ignored or just blown off when you talking about some profound shit. But what we have to understand is, and I'm talking to myself as well, is what is feeling dinged is the ego. Because the big picture to this, why others just don't gravitate to it or give a damn, is because they haven't acquired enough knowledge to know what they don't know. Then you have those who have acquired more knowledge, who have learned about that there was more than what they thought. But the problem is they've gotten to a certain level and then they feel like they know it all. Still not understanding that they have not achieved the ultimate knowing. The ultimate knowing is the unknown. It is coming to an utter state of confusion. I think the most godly thing that you can do is to become confused, is to every now and then just say, I don't know. And that includes myself. Because as long as I can say that I don't know, guess what? I have room to grow. But once I say I know, I have limited expansion. Because knowing is an ultimate state. So we got to retool our whole perspective on what are we doing, because I'm going to tell you something real. The real war that's going on now is a war of computers. There is a divine computer versus a purely artificial computer. Now, that divine computer created this simulation that we're in. But in the midst of this simulation, another computer has been created. This whole thing about artificial intelligence is much bigger than we may think. It's not something that's down the road. It already has been. It's just like right now, what you watch on YouTube, everything's been cataloged and framing your reality. So that if you want to watch a bunch of Brother Jamal videos, then YouTube knows how to, the computer, the algorithm, the hidden intelligence, the artificial intelligence knows how to feed you the reality that you seem to gravitate towards. What's up, Gwen? She says, of ego, what is a good etymology book to get? Well, I think, ego is multifaceted. So the only way to define ego is in the context. So when I say ego, I mean in the context of Jamal. Jamal being something that matters, or Jamal, the program that I'm running in, Jamal, that as the ego. Then you have just your pure boastful, I'm the best, I'm better than you, that version of the ego, But this state of not knowing is the ultimate. The ultimate is the pinnacle of all knowing. So I want to read something. This is an excellent, excellent, excellent book. This is called Solomon and Sheba, and this is by Barbara Black Cold Tools. Okay, and this particular part is talking about how Solomon and Sheba met. And what they was excellent in this book is that they talk about how three different versions. And this is a great segue into just reiterating the importance of not getting locked into a box. You know, you might have come out of a religious box, but we've got new conscious religions now. Certain people have become a religious movement in themselves. What's up, Candace? Yeah, my mama's a trip. Y'all ain't seen nothing. So different people have become religions. But one thing this book, the way they explain it, is it's a great reminder about being able to see things from a wide panoramic view. They talk about how in the Bible, the story of Solomon and Sheba is that Sheba flocks to Solomon, I think. And then the Quran is what Solomon sends for Sheba. Well, then they got the third, and I've got to get one. I've had this on my list for quite a few years, but I got to get this. The Ethiopian, I guess you would call this the Ethiopian holy book, the Kebra Nagast. And if you just look at the name, you know, Naga, Kebra, you know. Well, I want to read a little bit of the account from the Kebra Nagast. And I think it's profound. It says, the Kebra Nagast tells a story of how the Queen of Sheba had heard of Solomon from one of her subjects, a merchant named Tamarin. Now, that right there is enough for us to give pause. Let me see if I still got my little pad in here, but I don't know if I got any dry, what the hell you call them things? Those markers you write on the whiteboard. I know I got some in the house. Shit. Okay, because I wanted to deal with that. Dry erase marker. Okay. Gonna be 15 minutes of video of me digging in an armrest. Okay. Well, forget it. When it says, and this is amazing. That see, the story is this in Kebra Nagast is that Sheba gets word from a merchant named Tamarin, and Tamarin comes back and tells her all about how crazy Solomon's court is. Like, man, it's bananas. Okay, but the name Tamarin, Tamrn, is the origin of the word India. See, India comes from Sindhi from Hindi. Hindi comes from Tamarindi, and there's an actual, like, if you know, Indian people drink a tea called tamarind tea. If you go to an Indian restaurant, you'll be able to get some tamarind tea. Same thing. The tamarind, I don't know, so tamarind is kind of like, I don't know if it's like a hazelnut. I don't know how to describe it. It kind of looks like a nut, but it's a very dark, I guess it would be a fruit. So right here, Spidey sense, right, right. Right now, Spidey senses ought to be going off. Tamarindy, tamarind. So what is being referred to? What's being referred to here is dark matter. So understand how these two characters are situated. Solomon is symbolically in the north. Sheba is in the south. Okay. Um, we think of God as masculine, but God has in Kabbalah has a feminine aspect called the Shekinah. And the Shekinah is what falls down to the south, or what is called Malkuth. All right. So this story really is very Kabbalistic. Okay, Solomon and Sheba. Now, at the time, King Solomon wished to build the house of God, and he sent out messages among all the merchants in the east, in the west, in the north, and in the south. So, I mean, all this stuff is coded. East, north, west, south, those are 4 right angles was created. Okay, so this is the wheel. All right, he squared the circle. All right, bidding the merchants come and take gold and silver from him, so that he might take from them whatsoever was necessary for the work. And certain men reported to him concerning the rich Ethiopian merchant. And Solomon sent to him a message and told him to bring whatsoever he wished from the country of Arabia, red gold and black wood. Coded again. Red blood, black wood. Blood, that's what I meant. So I'm thinking red gold and black wood, but I'm automatically thinking blood. Okay, so we're talking about, again, a reference to something that is going on in the blood, and dark substance. We're talking about dark matter. All right, and we could deduce that this is talking about neuromelanin. All right, or what we are calling now neuromelanin. Black wood that could not be eaten by worms, and sapphires. Right there, when you hear that, it says could not be eaten by worms. We're talking about something that has the ability to endure. So a lot of your trees, like they have a tree called Yehuda tree. You have the acacia tree. You have the sycamore, the cedar. You have the shittim. All these are all woods, and when they're used in the Bible, they're used interchangeably. Because if you do the research on all of those trees, they produce a wood that is able to withstand a great deal of trauma. Think about it. All right. And that merchant, whose name was Tamarin, a merchant of the Queen of Sheba, went to Solomon the king. So that means went north. All right. And Solomon took whatsoever he desired from him, and gave to the merchant whatsoever he wished for in great abundance, as above, so below. Okay. See the correlation? You see, it says, Tamarin, the merchant of the Queen of Sheba, went to Solomon. That's going to the Godhead. So that's energy going up to the Godhead. But then it says, and he gave to the merchant whatsoever he wished for in great abundance. Energy coming back down. Now that merchant was a man of great understanding, and he saw and comprehended the wisdom of Solomon, and he marveled thereat. And he watched carefully, so that he might learn how the king made answer by his word, and understand his judgment, and the readiness of his mouth, and the discreetness of his speech, and the manner of his life, and his sitting down and his rising up. and his occupations, and his love, and his administration, and his table, and his law. To those to whom Solomon had to give orders, he spake with humility and graciousness, and when they had committed a fault, he admonished them gently. For he ordered his house in the wisdom and fear of God, and he smiled graciously on the fools, and set them on the right road, and he dealt gently with the maidservants. He opened his mouth in parables, and his words were sweeter than the purest honey. His whole behavior was admirable, and his whole aspect pleasant. This is my favorite part. For wisdom is beloved by men of understanding, and is rejected by fools. Wisdom is beloved by men of understanding, and is rejected by fools. That's some powerful shit right there. And when that merchant had seen all these things, he was astonished, and he marveled exceedingly. Now, what is this really talking about? This is talking about, if you want to understand the whole aspect of God having a human experience, this right here spells it out. Basically, tamarind would represent what we call Christ. Christ is his chrism, oil, okay? Dark matter. So basically, if we take the idea of 3D printing, and it says whatever this one concentrated source of energy is, 3D printed itself, or 8D printed itself onto this template. Okay, that template would be tamarind, because tamarind brought down the knowledge of everything that he had seen in Solomon's court. Now, Solomon means shalom, means peace. To be at peace is to be bound. So if something's bound, that means that's the same as Jerusalem. So that means this is the pinnacle. This is where all energy has met and has reached its most concentrated, maximized degree of power. Okay? So he brings down this knowledge and brings it to Sheba. Now, I want to read this little part where she says, it says, so Sheba received her information about Solomon's world from this merchant who had traveled abroad, and thought in her heart that she would go and see for herself. And she was exceedingly anxious to go to him, but when she pondered upon the long journey, she thought that it was too far and too difficult to undertake. Now, that is describing each one of us being humans. That right there, that's the limitations that we feel, myself included. Man, this is too much. This is too much, all this that we got to do to, you mean to tell me I'm supposed to be the all in all? I was comfortable with being just a little nobody who I could ask for help. Jesus, Lord, somebody, but now you're telling me I've got to be the all in all. But let me see. I lost one of my damn train of thought. But either way, let me read this. Oh yeah, Solomon. What was I saying? Solomon. Let me finish this. Maybe I'll remember what the hell I was. Okay. And she was exceedingly anxious to go to him, and she pondered upon the... Oh, right. I was talking about when she was saying that this journey is too much for her. It's too daunting. That is talking about describing our humanity. And it also points to one of the most targeted weapons used against humanity is a 4-letter word it's spelled B-U-S-Y, busy. Busy is one of the most dangerous weapons that we have in our midst. You know, a lot of the things we're so focused on, you know, are they have no real bearing in our lives. You know, all of the Google memes and what, you know, how everybody need to be more conscious like you, and we got dumb motherfuckers who are taking pictures of themselves with guns and shit and putting these shits up online talking about, yeah, I'm getting ready, got the whole family. Like, you dumb dummy. I mean, cause motherfucker cannot be this goddamn retarded. Taking all these pictures with AR-15s and motherfuckers just be just applauding that shit. But why the fuck did I even get off on that track, that tangent? So time after time she asked Tamarin questions about Solomon, and time after time Tamarin told her about him, and she became very wishful and most desirous to go, that she might hear his wisdom and see his face and embrace him and petition his royalty. And her heart inclined to go to him, for God had made her inclined to go and had made her desire it. Now, what's interesting about this is that the same Sheba that we're talking about here is written about in several places, but one in Proverbs 9:1. I learned this from C. Freeman L. About wisdom. The verse in there about wisdom, and wisdom is described as a woman. Now, what's interesting is that here we see Sheba, who is the woman who is going searching for wisdom. Now, wisdom is represented as a masculine thing. Now, the neophyte is gonna get stuck right there. And I'm gonna tell you how you spot a neophyte. You tell a person that, well, what we need to do is we're raising the Christ consciousness, and then the person come back and say, no, we need to be raising the divine feminine. That's how you spot a neophyte who don't know their foot from their elbow. Let me tell you, this is a prime example, because one book expresses wisdom as feminine. Then another account expresses wisdom as masculine. The Kabbalah, wisdom is masculine, Hokmah, understanding is feminine, Bina. Well, what is it? What is all this really trying to tell us? It's the fluidity of consciousness. Humanity is where we become bipolar. We become the word is right on the tip of my tongue. We become separated. This is a man, this is a woman. That's why that man naturally longs for that woman, and that woman naturally longs for that man, because they're trying to find that other half. Well, on a spiritual realm, it's not delineated based on duality. That's the word I was trying to think of, duality, like it is in a physical world. So that's why we even see, when we trace down the etymology of the word penis and vagina, they keep coming back to each other. You look up penis, it's going to take you, a penis is going to come back to inner chamber. That's the vagina. Vagina is going to take you something that pierces inwardly. That's the penis. The penis pierces. The chamber is what it they keep on. That's exactly, you have to bring both together. That's the whole point. That is the whole point of what they're trying to show, is that one account it's feminine, the other is masculine. They're trying to show that it's both form the all in all. So when we get trapped into, so if you don't, this is what you want to understand about all of the Me Too and all that shit. It is a play on people's misunderstanding of what is really masculine and what is really feminine and all. It is a whole, everything's reversed. It's all about segmenting. So she's wise, but she's going to wisdom. He's wise, but he still is seeking wisdom. So what is one of the morals we can pull out of this is that Solomon's called the wisest man ever. Okay? And then Proverbs tell her that wisdom has woven her web. So it's a woman. So it's showing that the wisest man and the wisest woman still don't know. That is the ultimate, I don't want to say ultimate. That is a great secret about knowledge. The ultimate knowledge is not knowing. Because listen to this. This is elementary. For Solomon to go and look for something, that means that this motherfucker does not know everything. That's what the shit is so simple. For him to even inquire about Sheba, for Sheba to inquire about Solomon, means that even God is searching for knowledge just as well as man is searching for knowledge. And they're looking to meet each other. That goes to holy marriage. So why did I bring this up? Candy says the wisdom ultimately is awareness of the unknown. The weird, yeah, and it's also the awareness that you don't know. That's the ultimate knowledge. Every time you overcome something and feel like you really got to figure it out, your ultimate reward is confusion. See, everybody's looking for, this is the problem with trauma. Humanity has traumatized us so much, many of us, that we're looking for how does this thing go in, and we finally going to have this state of complete, utter blissfulness. Well, you got to understand, utter blissfulness means stagnation. So we've been here on this planet, let's say billions of years. That billions of years could have been just a blip in just this never-ending continuation of movement. So that means we might go to some state of blissfulness that might be 10 billion years. Put a number on it, shit. 20 trillion gazillion years. That shit will still just be a blip. Because nothing can just exist and not move. And if something's moving, something has to be decaying. Because I'm telling you this, if you study your body, this shit was imprinted into us, a lot of the secrets. Every time I move, something has to burn for me to move. For something to burn, that means there's going to have to be some type of waste and decay. Even the cell has waste. Cellular waste is where we get the term oxidation. Oxidation is when the cell has taken its breath, if you want to use that, and it has exhaled. And it has exhaled or thrown off trash. Okay? So everything is constantly having to decay or have some form of waste so that it can keep moving. Well, if that's a law that applies to us, then there's no law that applies to us that does not apply to the whole cosmos. That's why did not it say that Tamarin came down? That's what we're talking about. Your whole existence is Tamarin. The shit that we don't pay attention to every day that goes on physiologically is divine shit that's giving you a roadmap or the template to everything. If you just really take the time to really sit and really just examine what's going on with you. You're like your physiology, you're like, man, this shit is crazy. So if that's going on, and we're constantly having to decay and burn up shit, then once whatever this is wrapped up, all we doing is preparing to go to the next battle. It's like this. Child is born in pure affluence, silver spoon galore. Child has never known worry. Child has never known hard times. Child has never known any of these things. This child is living in what we consider to be a blissful state. But this child is living in hell. You know why? Because it does not know that something else exists. So the child is utterly fucking stupid. And when you put that motherfucker out of the house and it has to get out there and wash his own clothes or wash his damn ass like a coming to me, for once I'd like to wash my own backside. You know, this motherfucker can't do nothing because he has lived in opulent wealth. Take that child as God. Only way for that child to know what it is capable of is that child has to get thrown into the ghetto. And where he was eating 4, 5-course meals, this motherfucker eating potty meat and spam now. And he's watching TV through the window of some retail store that sells electronic equipment. He ain't got all this fancy stuff no more. Now he knows what the other side is. And now he can see what he's really made of. He never knew his potential when he was in this blissful state. And he was actually in hell in heaven. Exactly. He doesn't know the other side. So in Isaiah 45 and 6 or 7, this is supposed to be the divine speaking of the Lord. It says, I, the Lord, create good and evil. I, the Lord. Lord means potential, potentate. I, the Lord, potential. That's what potential is. Potential can be, you can be the worst motherfucking bum, or you can be lifestyles of the rich with rich and famous with Robin Leach. Potential. So that is our story. Both sides have to be experienced. Unfortunately, because it's part of our experience right now, part of the transformation is to develop a distaste for remaining here. But do not let that warp your mind to let you form a distaste for the experience of living here. Let me understand where I'm coming from. You need to develop a distaste for being here, not for your experience here. So how in the hell does that make sense, Jamal? You are living in the now. I think about so many times back in the past I thought, oh man, I was getting out of shape. I was all pissed off. And then, you go a few more years and look back like, man, if I could just get back to when I was like that and I thought I was getting out of shape. And if I can get back to where, because what happens is we struggle to live in the now. And that's true occultism. The true occultism is getting a society where, and we're talking about using occultism for the means of stagnation. If you get a society to constantly look backwards or forwards, then this nosy motherfucker. I can't move in now if I'm back here and I'm back there. Now I've created a vacuum where now stays right here. And I lose it. And then I eventually get moved to wherever this future is, and I never have a now. Because soon as I get moved, and see what they move these canisters, they move these skins that we're in, they move us forward, side, back. But wherever we're put, we're always looking elsewhere other than where we at that moment. Is that making sense? The key is for you to never look and see yourself right now. So then now never comes. The first thing a baby does, the first inclination of the child for you to know that it's healthy is it moves. Yeah, we're in a state of decay. But decay is only a transient tool. Decay is a transient tool. That means it is moving. Transcendence, transportation, transience is the order of the day. The first thing the baby does is the baby wants to move. Baby gets to around like 6 months, 5 months, the baby starts trying to roll over on its side. About a month and a half later, the baby's rolling all the way over, crawling, and that's when you got to start worrying about it, getting off the bed. Now we can't just lay the baby on the bed, because now they can fall and get hurt, because this baby has a natural inclination to move. If you want to find God, God is movement. All this talk about melanin, we don't even understand. No, the people who say the most about fucking melanin be the dumbest motherfuckers, the most stagnated, stuck in one motherfucking paradigm motherfuckers in the goddamn world. All your motherfucking melanin. I think motherfuckers need to start having a tongue cut out if they wear a goddamn shirt talking about #melanin. I think a motherfucker ought to be shot by a goddamn firing squad for that shit. We're gonna have to start making examples out of motherfuckers for saying shit, and and just cause it's a fucking fad, man. That's how this artificial reality has played us. We don't even see the hand at work. The computers are at war. We are nothing but fucking pawns. The computer figured out that you want melanin. That motherfucker giving you melanin 24/7. 24/7. And white supremacy 24/7. Motherfuckers have memed themselves to death. I think we need to start hanging motherfuckers by their toenails for producing. If a motherfucker's producing more than 5 memes a month, we're going to have to put this motherfucker on a watch list. I'm sorry. We're going to have to put a task squad together. Motherfucker producing more than 5 memes a month, we're going to have to cut off their motherfucking goddamn food stamps. Let's see. Marcus says, darkness is where everything comes from, surrounded by light. Right on. So, don't be dismayed by being confused. I've learned to revel in the moment because I know it's like, man, about to get in the cockpit and take off again. But that's all I got. It's a whole lot to this book here. It's very this is I'm gonna say this is a must-have. Solomon Sheba. This is a must-have because You know, it's look how small the book is. Little old thin nothing book. These are the ones that are really important, because you know why this one's so important? It is a great thing to have a reminder of, just to ground you. You know, this shit can become so overwhelming, so voluminous, and we got so much coming at us. You know, like my cousin said, we are thrust into a stew of information. And you know, you got so many motherfuckers online with, uh it's just a wild wild west. uh Gwen said, when is class? We're doing a class this weekend. We're doing popcorn night this weekend. I'm about to send out the email. We're gonna do it Sunday. So popcorn night is where I'm gonna show a movie through my uh through the little software, and those who are in the class gonna be able to sit and watch the movie, and uh we're gonna decode it. Um, so I'll be sending out. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna try to. I'm not gonna try. I am. It's time to get down to brass tacks, get down to business. But that's all I got. Confusion is the ultimate answer. Um, Confusion is the ultimate reward. Ultimate reward. And I want to hopefully set a trend for those who remotely try to position themselves as passing along any information or knowledge. That what if there's a trend of a person who supposedly is a teacher being humble enough to say, man, I don't know. Or, y'all, I'm confused. That's right. Confucius says. Marcus is motherfucker. It's something in that water up there in Toronto. um yeah, there's nothing wrong with being confused. That is the ultimate. Now, what's the problem is when you're confused and you just an utter idiot and you have no desire to. Everything's about movement. So everything can become stagnation. Confusion can become stagnation. Uh, and that anything is a problem when it becomes your permanent state. Because once you are in your permanent state, that's what's called death. They say when a person dies, he's going to his permanent resting place. You know, and we know that's taken in the context in which we use it. But all right, so if you want to participate in some of our classes, you got time to go and become a member of Masters of Cosmos, the Adepts. Like I said, we'll be having this class Sunday, decoding a movie. It'll be a surprise what we're gonna watch. And I'll be back soon. And we'll kick it again. So as always, stay down till you get up. When you get up, stay down. It's Brother Jamal, mastersofthecosmos.com.